you know how we talked a little bit about like when you don't necessarily find your fit. I feel like that's like part of the entrepreneur journey.
In every good story, there's a spark, this inciting moment where the protagonist goes from life as it was to the trajectory of the new thing, whatever it is. Many of the stories we hear the story after the spark. The business owner that started after the spark and then built a great business, and those are fantastic. But today, we get to learn how Lexie Garrett of Alexis Drake was before the spark, who built and what built the person who built the business. I'm Toby Lyles, and this is my esteemed son,
Maverick Lyles.
This is the Voices on the Wind podcast.
Coffee has always been kind of a thing. I mean, there's some people who love coffee more. I mean, I like coffee. Coffee's good. But quality. Quality is something, just whatever it is, it's got to be quality. And so we upgraded coffee. We got some really good beans and just a lot of really cool tools. But we couldn't find all the pieces. We were looking for a grinder, looking for just a lot of other things. And then we found some that were like, but we went into Prairie Pantry. We tried it again. And once again, just super quality. All of it. All of her, everything she has was really good. And we got a grinder. We got filters. And then still gives great coffee. I just had some earlier today. It's fantastic. Amazing coffee. So she has quality. If you want, and then if you need anything like that, that's Prairie Pantry. And then in Cheyenne, she's just, she also has a really great store. So if you're not from Cheyenne, you still should check out her online store, which is CheyennePrairiePantry.com.
Yeah, you know, we, I haven't told you, but we actually went into the Prairie Pantry. Yeah. Because we had purchased an online grinder we purchased, which fell apart to my deep frustration.
It did.
And then we went in and bought a real grinder.
Oh, yeah.
Handmade in Germany or something beautiful like that. And it is still producing us a great grind.
Yeah.
So really appreciate Susan Anthony for sponsoring this podcast and helping us listen to Alexis Garrett's story, the story behind the story.
I was a sculpture major, so I did a lot of furniture and three-dimensional sculpture.
Really?
And the way that normally the story goes is that I was failing at one of those classes because I couldn't figure out it was a foundry class, and I was really struggling with getting a three-dimensional thing made because everything that I was making was two-dimensional. For some reason, I needed to make something move on the wall. And I was really struggling. People were making like these beautiful animals that were like huge sculptures of like cheetahs, and like they were beautiful. I was nothing was working for me. So
really?
Yeah. So my professor, the airplane guy, he said, I have a friend downtown and I'd like you to go apprentice for him. And he might be able to kind of fix you.
No, I hope he didn't say that.
He didn't say it like that. He's like, I'm hoping that he can like wake up whatever is like confused in your brain. And I was like, okay. So I go to this guy. This guy's a jewelry designer / sculptor. Really cool, like just cool aesthetic. Downtown, I walk in and he's like, so where's your sketchbook? And I was like, oh, I guess I thought I was working for you. So I didn't bring a sketchbook. Like I thought, I just assumed I was from the college. I was, labor, like, and I was going to learn
this
some
is how
things.
the agreement usually goes.
Yeah. I was going to get credit and I was going to learn something. So he's like, go ahead and, what type of jewelry do you like? And I was like, I don't really wear jewelry. Oh. And he goes,
really?
He goes, what would jewelry look like if you did wear it? And I was like, oh God, like this was not my department at all. Like I was an athlete. I worked for the women's basketball team. Like my hair was in a ponytail. I wore basketball shorts, like hoodies. Like this was not, I didn't know like, this is my mom's department. My mom's an amazingly stylish human. And I was really confused. So I went home and I was like, okay, I have to do this. Like, this is my new project. So I drew some things and took it back the next day. And he's like, okay, so we're going to start carving these pieces of jewelry out of wax. I'm going to show you, from start to finish, how we carve it out of wax, how we cast it in plaster, and how we make jewelry.
Very cool.
And I was like, okay. So we did. And I think we started out with like 6 or 8 different pieces of jewelry. And by Christmas time, I had a whole collection.
Are you kidding me?
So I figured sculpture out. Just it was teeny tiny versus giant, cheetah sized. I came home one Christmas and my parents were like, hey, let's have a trunk show. And I was like, okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we had a trunk show at my house over the holidays and we sold so many pieces that I was busy in the studio up until like spring break. And so in most of the things that I sold that first trunk show, I still sell today. My grandmother was living with my folks at the time and we were all kind of there talking about it. And I was like, I wondered if she would let us use her maiden name. And so it was Alexis Drake. Her last name was Drakis. And so we borrowed that. And she was alive, which was really cool to be part of that whole conversation and just excited that we could, use it for more years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's a picture of them, her family, on the wall in retail.
All right,
So
we'll have to go look at that. Yeah. I think I'm kind of curious about because, and I know you started, building handbags off of necessity, but you're already a business person before then, and I think you just wrapped the handbag into the brand.
Yeah.
I'm guessing there's like some no's along the way, some trials.
So many no's, yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about any of those?
Yeah. I think, obviously as any entrepreneur knows, your skin's got to be pretty thick.
Yeah.
I think, and I do also think that, how we talked a little bit about like when you don't necessarily find your fit.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like part of the entrepreneur journey in addition to maybe like your own personality traits. And so like as I'm schlepping my jewelry around, I'm interviewing store owners just as they're kind of interviewing me. And so of course it would be like a no and a no, or, oh, I'll take a few pieces and stuff like that. And so I think that one of the biggest, milestones for any artist is when you're like really confident in what you do and you're okay with somebody saying, I really don't like that, or it's just not the right fit for us.
Yeah.
And so that's a good thing. And I think when we start making stuff and you start perfecting the collections that you're making, you realize that you're the fit. Like you're the fit for whatever that is. It's people who they have to come in and decide whether it's for them or not. Like it's not. I'm okay with if somebody comes in and says, "Oh, your bags are too expensive," and I'm like, I know, because we make them. Yeah. So I'm okay with that. But thank you so much for coming and like looking and meeting our makers here. Seeing the process, and thank you for at least appreciating what we do. And so I think as artists, we struggle for acceptance. And I think that you find success when you're like, I know we've done well. I know we're in a good place. I think my whole goal in my whole artist world was to create something where if somebody were to walk by it, they would know the style based on either the brand or that we've created a cohesive style that is recognizable. And that to me is pretty special.
That is special. So even if I if I'm hearing you right, you're saying even though you received no's from quite a few store owners or halfway yeses.
To receive no's. Let's
not put it in the past. Okay, so you're cold calling stores to sell your jewelry.
Yep.
Okay. And just back then, are you walking in with a thing full of jewelry and be like, hey, okay, let's take some chutzpah.
Yes.
So you're walking in and you're getting a lot of no's, a couple of yeses. And you're saying those no's made you feel, although hard, maybe helped you learn to be okay in your own skin. That what you sell is just a version of you, and that is good. Yeah. And if it's not for them, it's not for them.
Right.
Okay, so you're selling jewelry, and I don't know where to go next. Where should we go next?
2015.
Okay.
I was teaching art at one of the elementary schools here, and
yes, I want. That is exactly what I want to go into the art education side, but I don't want to skip the children's side. If you want to get there, because you paused at some point.
Yes, we did. Yeah, we filed Alexis Drake under hobby for a while because we had our son Jack. We had him in Chicago, and realized that was hard to have a kid and to also do other things. My husband, to be fair, had just gotten a job at his first law firm, so huge law firm.
Oh my goodness!
And his world was consumed, and he was our fearless breadwinner, and so he would leave at like 8 a.m. and come home at like 9 p.m, and he'd be like, "What did you do?" And I'd be like, "We went to Starbucks and Target and we ate, and that's all."
Yes, and that's a win.
And that was a win.
Good.
And it was those first couple years were more, just hilarious because it was, I didn't know how to raise a kid, and I think any first time parent is always like, "Okay, well, this is a win. I showered," or we got a nap in, like all of those things, and so. We did get really lucky. Tyler got a job offer in Cheyenne. We knew we were going to come home at some point. We just didn't know when.
Yeah.
The city is so much fun to be in when you don't have to worry about schools or, how to live in the city and have a stroller or, just some of those. And I wouldn't call them difficult things, but our family was back here in Cheyenne. And so I think it was, for us, we knew we needed to come back. We just didn't know when. And so we got a job offer here at a law firm.
He was looking, he was pushing for that?
I think it was kind of a surprise. And we were like, oh, okay. So timing, maybe this is going to work out. So his job brought us back, which was super exciting for us to be back. Cause like I said, both of our parents are here. And at that point, we joke because Tyler's like, when you have a kid, you think of all the crazy, things that could happen. And so he's like, okay, you need to get something stable in case I die.
Oh,
and I was like, okay, this is a weird conversation, but okay.
But you have to have it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so with my art degree, I was able to go back to school and get a teaching certificate.
Okay.
As well as my master's in instruction and curriculum. Okay. So I did that real quick and was able to get hired at Hobbs Elementary.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I taught. Well, and I used to touch on this, but we were in my garage for a really long time.
Okay.
And so I would teach. I taught all day, and then I would come home at night and work late, and I'd also get up really early in the morning before the kids got up. And so it was I think
you're teaching from 7.
I think I had to be at work by like 7:45, 8 o'clock.
Okay.
And then I could leave at like 4.
Okay.
So I was probably up in the morning about 4.
Oh.
And then work a couple hours before getting kids up. and like that whole morning routine of family.
Yeah.
And then getting them to school and then work all day. And then after school, my husband is a phenomenal cook. So he's the reason we're all fed. So he took on kind of that whole evening part and allowed me to work.
Okay.
In the garage.
Okay.
So I
and
have
this
some
is
really
jewelry at this point still.
No,
right?
this is what I was just going to say. If we were going to fast forward to 2015, that was kind of when the handbag expansion started. And so that's when I had a sewing machine in the garage, and it was like anything I could do to just sit down and sew. Like that's all I wanted to do.
Really? Okay, so you want to just tell that handbag swap at the education fair story real fast so we can...
Yes. Yeah. We can insert that. So I had been dabbling a little bit with it. And I will have to say, in between the jewelry and then putting it into filing it under hobby, I was trying to figure out what was next in my art because I was kind of bored with the jewelry. Like it worked. It was great.
Really?
People loved it, but I wasn't sure I could continue to do like it.
Was it a money thing? Like you didn't get enough money from it, or is it just creatively just nah?
I think probably both.
Okay.
Like it wasn't as lucrative as, I mean, like I loved making it. It was fun. Like for me, it was more of like, this is a cool process. I loved that, the little charms, we would stamp initials on it. And so it would be for birthdays or anniversaries or graduations. Like I loved what the jewelry was for.
Okay.
And like the moment that it was, celebrating.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I wanted to do more and I wasn't sure. So then there was the pause. Then I was, hanging out with all my art teacher friends trying to, spark some new art in my world. And one of my teaching partners was a printer. And we were working on one of the projects that we were going to do for the students. And he's like, you should just play around with this. So I did. And I was, using nature and I was finding all these cool aspen leaves. And so I was printing all of these designs onto canvas. And then I was like, okay, what am I going to make? What am I going to do with this canvas? Like, it can't just be for the wall. Like, then I think I was like, oh, this 2-dimensional, like, PTSD from my sculpture thing. I was like, no more 2 dimensions. It's got to be 3-dimensional. So I was like, what if I print it on fabric and then I make something out of it? So kind of started out the whole handbag thing.
Okay.
And I will say my husband was giving me a hard time. And he was like, you're carrying around a reusable grocery bag as your purse. And I was like, yeah, but it's perfect. It's big. I can carry all of the things.
Is this what you printed on? No.
No, not yet.
Okay, not yet.
Not yet.
So you're literally like a Trader Joe's kind of a bag?
It was, yes. It was, I would Trader Joe's and then I'd swap it out for the Lululemon one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's,
they're
pretty stylish.
Yeah, super stylish. Yeah. So he's like, can you go find something fun? He goes, I'll buy it for your birthday. Go find something that you love.
Yeah.
And I mean, I liked fashion and I like all that stuff. But so I go out and I try to find one. I was like, ran to Dillard's and then I started shopping online and I was like, I don't like I'm kind of a leather snob. Okay. And so I really like good quality leather.
Oh, yeah.
And so I didn't find any leather that I liked.
Like none at all or just none at the price point that you wanted?
I would have to say none at all. Because even the ones that I was looking at, I mean, even like Louis Vuitton, like the brand's amazing. I love the story behind the brand.
Yeah.
But I don't care for the material.
Wow. Okay.
Like for me, like it's, the material has to be amazing. Like let's choose Italian leather. Like let's choose leather that doesn't feel like plastic. Like let's choose something that's made stateside. Like let's choose something that's actually, it's not made really cheaply and then sold for thousands of dollars. This makes sense. And I think that's where I was really struggling. Finding something. I didn't like the pockets on the inside. There was lots that I didn't like. And so I was like, okay, I'm just going to start making one.
Tell me more about what you didn't like.
When you would open up one of these beautiful like Michael Kors bags, it would be like the lining would all be black and it would be a drop-in lining. And so there'd be lots of fabric in there and there'd be like a zipper. The drop-in lining, if it gets a hole in it, it's like gone into this abyss in between the lining and the bag. And it's gone forever. You can hear it, but you can't find it.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's it. If you have a black bag and you have a black lining, you can't find anything if it's dark.
Yeah. Good point.
Handles.
And back to the practical, you need to be able to find it.
Yeah. The zipper, it wasn't it was a teeny tiny zipper. So you could put, your chapstick in there. So it doesn't, get caught in the abyss. There were just so many things or too many pockets. Like there were thousands of dividers. Like who really needs to file organize your purse? Like seriously, no. Like maybe a couple pockets that make sense. And then a couple, I don't know. I don't like the lining. I understand why. I understand the functionality of why mass-made handbags are made the way they are. I get it. It's easy, it's cheap. They can do it separately and they can stitch it in. I get it. I thought this is so silly. They're wasting so much time on this. I'm going to make it so that the lining actually is kind of stuck to the inside of the bag so it doesn't float around.
Oh, yeah.
So that when you put something in your pocket, you know exactly where that pocket is. It's not swimming in it's not with all the other pockets.
This sounds like almost like an inventor mind, because as you describe your frustrations with them, you're imagining a whole new way of a purse.
Yeah.
Is that how it happened? Did you see these purses and you're frustrated and you're light bulb over the head? Kind of.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think the whole time I was this is stupid. And I hate that word. But I'm this could be designed so much better.
Oh.
And I just think that, I love fashion. Sometimes I get so frustrated as to why some fashion gets so celebrated and why other fashion doesn't get celebrated. The stuff that makes sense. And that's where, can it be both? Can it be functional, beautiful, great design, and fashionable, and walk the runway? You're never going to see our bags on the runway, but I guess never say never. I'd love that.
Maybe we need to make that happen.
But they're just not as weird. They can't. I want ours to be an everyday person. No everyday person is walking on the runway. So there are, but I want fashion is elevated to show what the possibilities, and that's part of the artwork. We love to see that thing that might not ever exist. Half of that stuff never is ever in, ready to wear stuff.
It doesn't function. Yeah.
So, that's why I'm saying ours is an everyday, most people would use this. Most people don't wear the stuff off the runway.
Maybe we need to do a fashion show around here.
Yes. And then I'll make some really weird stuff.
Big star.
Yeah, exactly.
Things.
Yeah.
You'll never be able to reach anything in there.
You could, yeah, exactly. Maybe that's what I should do. Yeah.
I thought she had a lot of good thoughts on quality, and just how we see things. She had how she's such an inventor and an artist, and I think that's really cool. And I think I see this in myself sometimes too when I see things. But she just had this she has very much this way of how can I make this better? And how can I make this work? And also look good. And how she applied that to the fashion world, where that's not always the biggest priorities. I just think it's really cool. Personally, if I had a purse, that's where I get it. I get it from there, because she has such a great mind for seeing things.
I really appreciated the story.
Yeah.
I've got this Leatherman that had a clip on it. I really liked everything about this knife. It had a clip, but the clip broke all the time. I put it in for warranty, but then they gave me a good one back, but still it broke again. Yeah. And it was just going to keep breaking. And you could see how it was going to break forever. And so I handmade my own one. Now, it is not as beautiful as the bags that Alexis Drake but just hearing her story reminded me of that and that's why I love the story of what she did, because we all have these things that we see that can be improved, and sometimes we put our hands to them. And she did that. She took it and she made a business out of it.
Scaled it too.
And scaled it.
Yeah.
Yeah, incredible. So I'm sure we'll come back with the rest of her story at some point. So hang on until then. And until then, happy sailing.
Happy sailing.